ओम श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शंकरं लोकशंकरं शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेद विभागिने व्योमवत् व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शंकराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्वी नावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। So am I audible? Yeah. So let us chant this Gita DhyAnam from the beginning, repeating after me. So Mohan, Sai, Krishna, is your surroundings fairly noise free? Okay, I have unmuted you. So everybody can repeat after me. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam.
Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam.
Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam.
Narayaneya Swayam.
Vyasena Grathitam.
Vyasena Graditam.
Purana Munina. Madhye Mahabharatam. Advaitamritavarshinim. Bhagavatim. Ashtadasadhyayinim. Ambatvam. Anusandadhami. Bhagavad-gite. Bhavadveshinim. Namostute. Vyasa Visala Buddhe. Pullaravinda. Ayatapatra netra. Yena tvaya. Bharata Taila Purnaha. Prajwalito. Jnanamaya Pradipaha. Prapanna Parijataya. Totra Vaitraika. Panaye. Gnanamudraya. Krishnaya. Gitamritaduhe namaha. Sarvopanishado gavaha. Dogdha. Gopalanandanaha. Partho Vatsaha. Sudhir Bhokta. Dugdham
Dugdham
Geetamritam Mahat
Geetamrutam Mahat
Vasudeva Sutam Devam
Vasudeva Sutam Devam
Kamsa Chanura Mardanam
Kamsa Chanura Mardhanam
Devaki Paramanandam
Devaki Paramanandam
Krishnam Vande
Krishnam Vande
Jagadgurum.
Jagadgurum.
So we are now we have finished studying the first 4 shlokas of this Gita Dhyanam. Still invoking the Bhagavad Gita because it is such an important text. It is apt that Swami Madhusudana Saraswati, it is said, Swami Chinmayananda ji said once, wrote this Bhagavad Gita Dhyana Shlokaha. So this was written sometime in the 16th century. So I looked up Google. So, Google is our source of all knowledge, So these days, we don't have to remember anything. Just have to have a cell phone, smartphone. That's all. That means I'm great. So this 1540 to 1640. So that was the time I found out he's a very accomplished Advaita teacher. He's written 24 books, I think, and 24 works, one of which is this Gita Dhyana. So many years back, just think about it, 400 years ago, 500 years ago, it was written, and we're still studying it with so much enthusiasm. That shows the validity of everything which is said. So, Parthaya Pratibodhitam, first verse was in praise of the Bhagavad Gita herself, invoked as the mother. Then Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe. So clearly praising Vyasa. Third verse, praising Krishna, Prapanna Parijataya. And then in the fourth verse, Sarvopanishado Gavaha. So there, beautiful imagery of a cow and Krishna being the milkman, and the cow being the Upanishads, and the milk that is being extracted being the Bhagavad Gita, which is meant for the calf, namely Arjuna. That is the imagery we saw. And now, verse number 5. Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Okay, again a praise of Krishna here. So those of us who know Mahabharata, and all of us do, and so we can quickly recognize that it is praising Krishna. So Krishnam Vande, main sentence, Aham Krishnam Vande. That is the main sentence in the shloka. Vande Mataram. We say that. So Mataram Vande. So I worship, I prostrate to Mother in that Vande Mataram. So here also Krishnam Vande. So Aham Krishnam Vande. I salute, I do namaskar to Krishna. That is what is the main sentence. And everything else is an adjective to Krishna. So Madhusudana Saraswati ji doesn't want us to assume anything. So he is making sure who that Krishna is that we are talking about. And so Vasudeva Sutam. So Vasudeva Sutam Devam, like that it goes. So Vasudeva Sutam. And so son of Vasudeva and Devaki, we know that very well. And what kind of son? Not an ordinary son. Devam. He is a Deva, not ordinary. So the mother also knows, everybody knows, this boy is not an ordinary guy. And so Devaha. Devaha means effulgent. shining, brilliant. And who can forget Krishna? So brilliant he is, and where he is not there, and one time he's here, the other time he's there, and he's all over. So that kind of a Deva, the most effulgent being. And what did he do? Kamsa Chanura Mardhanam. Mardhanam, destroyed. He vanquished this Kamsa. And we know Kamsa is the brother of his mother, so his own uncle, Rakshasa. So he just did, he finished off Kamsa. But before that, another guy is there, Chanura. We don't hear the story too much. Chanura. Chanura is like a wrestler. So Mallaha. So he's a Mallaha, he's a wrestler. And Kamsa wanted somehow goaded this Chanura to kill Krishna. Krishna was hardly, only 12, 13, just growing boy. And so how to get Krishna? You don't fight with a boy. An adult cannot fight with a boy. That's against the rules of the game. But these Rakshasas don't follow rules. They don't care about all these things. So sometime some occasion arose and some wrestling match was going on, and the match was over, and Krishna, Balarama, his parents and all were there here, and so this Chanura kept teasing Krishna and Krishna, you think you're great and you think you've killed all these guys and Putana and all that. And don't think you have to face me. Only then you will be great. But you're a coward. You simply do some tricks and then get away. But you can't do that with me. Like that, he was teasing Krishna. And Krishna, nobody can tease Krishna. Krishna is the greatest teaser, in fact. So Krishna is unaffected. But then the father, he started teasing father. What kind of a father you are? So bolte hai na, kya tu mera baap ka naam liya? So like that. Suddenly, when you say baap means, then all emotions, all emotions, and baap and ma and all these things. So baap ka naam liya isne, Chanura, and then things took a different turn, and then the story goes that Krishna finished off Chanura. So Kamsa Chanura Mardhanam. So this course is not about learning Mahabharata. So stories after stories. It's nice to hear, but we need to stay with the Bhagavad Gita here. So Kamsa Chanura Mardhanam. That Krishna who slayed Kamsa and Chanura. And then Devaki Paramanandam. Which mother will not be happy to have a son like Krishna? And so the one who gave greatest happiness to Devaki, that Krishna, and the one who is the source of all Ananda. The word Krishna comes from the root which means attracts. Karshati iti Krishna. Attracts. That which attracts everybody. So what attracts everybody? Ananda attracts everybody. Happiness. Everybody wants to be happy. In some way or the other, we all want to be happy. So that Ananda, so he is that who is the source of Ananda and thereby attracts people, is called Krishna. That's the literal meaning of Krishna. And so, of course, Devaki Paramanandam and so Lokanandam. So he brings joy to everybody in this world. So that Krishnam Vande. But then he is also Jagat Guru. That is how Swamiji writes here. Jagat Guru. If you look at Bhagavad Gita and Mahabharata, there is no place where he comes and says, I am Jagat Guru and all that. He doesn't have any problem, Krishna. But he's saying Jagat Guru, the teacher of the world. How can you be the teacher of the world? And you can be a teacher of a few students, okay, but teacher of the world is what? That is only possible if the message being taught is universal. Universal message. Something is taught, then you can be anybody's teacher. So I would consider that all our teachers here, teachers of sciences and things like that, and mathematics and all that, they can teach anybody. So in a way, they can be called teachers of the world, because that person, wherever that person is, will be able to teach that particular subject. So here, little different, similar but also different, because the message is meant for the struggling human being all over the world. Everybody is looking for that ananda, and so this solution being given also will appeal to any person, any human being, and therefore Jagat Guru. He is a Jagat Guru, and without that knowledge that Krishna is teaching, life will still be incomplete. The search will go on and on, and therefore Krishna is called Jagat Guru. And this Kamsa Chanura Mardana. So that is the story, that is the itihasa, and also the no war. All wars are first fought in the head, fought in the mind. Only then it is enacted outside. So that hatred and everything builds up, and the war is already being fought in the mind. And it's just a question of just coming out there and then beating each other out. That only remains. And so there is really no war outside. There is one view. And all wars, all struggles are all in the human mind. And so that Krishna who slays all the difficulties one has, or who slays all the adharma in this world by giving people what they deserve. Krishna he's not partial to anybody. All he does is through his laws, he gives what people deserve. That's all. And thereby taking care of adharma and paritranaya sadhunam, and thereby bring dharma. So this Kamsa Charanura Mardanam can be looked at like that also. And those first few words, Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsa Chanura Mardanam Devaki Paramanandam. So these are all qualities of Krishna. Krishna, the avatara, historical Krishna. Historical Krishna. So we have to understand one thing here. People like me who studied in an English school and central school and all that, we were told that Mahabharata is mythology. We were told that Ramayana is mythology. Anything of significance becomes mythology in our textbooks. But this mythology is a new word. It's an English word. What did we look up? How did we see Mahabharata and Ramayana as? We call them as itihasa. The word to remember is itihasa. Itihasa. Itihasa means, you know what it says? It means itihasa. Thus indeed it was. Thus indeed it was. So this is how it was. The story has come down to us over time. And so we consider all Krishna and Rama are real people. Krishna was born he grew up in, so this Gokul, Vrindavan, all these places are real. And Rama was born in Ayodhya, real. Rama had 3 brothers, real. Rama's father was Dashratha, real. Everything is real. No, but then how about this Ravana? It seems he had 10 heads. Is that also real? So we have to remember the person who wrote Ramayana. We are reading Valmiki's Ramayana. Valmiki is not a historian. Valmiki is not a historian. Valmiki is what? The Mahakavi, the first poet. The world's first poet is Valmiki. Adi Kavi, they say. Adi Kavi means Adi means the first Kavi. And Mahakavi, because this Ramayana is not an ordinary text, it has some 60,000 verses. So to write 60,000 verses. So Kavi, when you say poet, then the poet will embellish. Poet will do a lot of things to create an imagery. That's the beauty of poetry. And so this Ravana was like that. So on the one hand, he is a Samavedi and he is a Vaidika. And on the other hand, he is going after Sita. And he is a musician and great, this Kambodhi Raga. And then, but then he's going after, he's a terror for all the dharmic people. So like this, conflicts are there, and Valmiki chose to present the conflicts different heads, each head thinking independently and fighting with each other. So that person, that kind of a person was portrayed as somebody with 10 heads. So the 10-headed Ravana should not make us think that Ramayana is false, Ramayana is fiction, Ramayana is a myth. All these ideas we have to drop. So it is Satyam, and we believe it's history. This Krishna existed, and so Itihasa. And so those first few words that are mentioned, Vasudeva, Sutam and all that, presents Krishna from that story that we know. And also these descriptions of Krishna are meant for meditation. So when you do Dhyanam, and if Krishna is your Ishta Devata, so namely if your Devata is Krishna and you want to meditate on Krishna, then you invoke Krishna by recalling these attributes. The Balakrishna, the one with earrings and running around and stealing butter from every home. All this we imagine. And then you invoke Krishna in your mind until you start, and that's the way to start the meditation. So these are all meant for that. Then there is the attributeless Krishna, which is what Krishna talks about in his Bhagavad Gita. Then what is this Atma? What is this? This Ishvara, everything he will talk about. That is attribute free. So that Atma is not a son of Vasudeva. Atma is not this Kamsa Chanura Mardana. So that Atma, he teaches. So in Bhagavad Gita, he will say also. So yo mam veti tatvatah. So janma karma cha me divyam yo mam veti tatvatah. So I have a divine birth, all right. I am an avatara, fine. But one who knows my real nature, he says that. One who doesn't get carried away by all my flute playing and all these things. And that person, one who understands me in reality. So like that he says. So that is this verse praising Krishna once again as the teacher of the world. Jagat Gurum. So I Aham Krishnam Vande, I salute Krishna, who is the teacher of the world, Jagat Guru, and who is Vasudeva Sutam, who is the son of Vasudeva, and who is Ishvara Deva, Bhagavan, and who slayed Kamsa and Kamsa Chanura Mardanam, and who is the greatest joy of Devaki Paramanandam. I salute that Krishna. Okay. So now, sixth shloka, we're going to chant. And Sai, are you still unmuted? Okay. So I've unmuted you, Sai.
Okay.
You go by Mohan or Sai?
Mohan next.
Mohan, okay. All right. Mohan. Mohan, one who makes everybody happy is also Mohan. So another synonym of Krishna. Okay. Bhisma Drona Tata
Bhishma Drona Tata
Jayadratha Jala
Jayadratha Jala
Gandhara Nilotpala
Gandhara Nilotpala
Shalyagrahavati
Shalyagrahavati
Kripena Vahani
Kripena Vahani
Karnena
Karnena
Velakula
Velakula
Aswatthama
Aswatthama
Vikarna
Vikarna
Ghora Makara
Ghora Makara
Duryodhana Vartini
Duryodhana Vartini
Sotirna
Sotirna
Khalu Pandavaihi
Kalu Pandavai
रणनदी
Rananadi
Kaivartakah Kesavaha.
Kaivartakah Kesava.
Okay. So you can, couple of you can remain unmuted. Mohan, how about him? How's it there?
Yeah. I have to see. I don't know.
Okay, that's fine. I have muted yourself. Right. All right. Balaji, unmuting yourself. Okay. So again, here, this shloka is describing the Mahabharata. In fact, no, this is not Mahabharata. This is praising, this is talking about the battle. The battle itself, the war. So, रणनदी, that is the word to pick up here. रणनदी at the bottom. रणनदी. That Rana, that battle, that war. Maybe we should say war. There is a difference between war and battle, no? I think a war can have many battles. So we can look at it either way. So रणनदी. So this battle, which is a river, another beautiful simile given, and an imagery created of a river. So we must imagine a river, and Swamiji just brilliantly portrays this Mahabharata as a river. And what kind of river? So let's see what it is. Bhisma Drona Tata. Tata means banks of a river. Banks of a river. So Bhisma is one bank of the river and Drona is the other bank. So a river needs banks for the water to flow properly in a particular direction. So we all know Bhishma was the commander-in-chief of the army. At least the first 10 days until Bhishma was alive, he was the commander-in-chief. Then 11th day, I think Drona became the commander-in-chief, right? Bhishma Drona. That's why they are banks. And after that, after Drona died, then on the 16th day, Karna became the commander-in-chief. 16th and 17th, 2 days, Karna. Then Karna fell on 17th. And 18th day, Salya became the commander-in-chief. In the morning, they say, Salya was the commander-in-chief in the morning. And evening time, Aswatthama was the chief. So like that, there were 4 or 5 commander-in-chiefs for this, during this war. So therefore, they are seen as the banks of this river. They are the ones who hold this war. Then Jayadratha Jala. Now, Bhishma was a dharmic person. Drona was a dharmic dharma, given to dharma. How come they are siding with Duryodhana? Well, because when the Pandavas went to Ajñātavasa, to the forest, Duryodhana pampered all these people, pampered everybody, Bhisma and Drona, to such a point that they fought with the guy who was actually causing destruction. And Bhishma, despite being old, he is still an invincible person. We saw that in the Mahabharata. Then Jayadratha Jala. Then what about the waters of this river? And that is Jayadratha. So, Jayadratha, the husband of the only sister of the Kauravas, Dushala. Dushala. So, therefore, the brother-in-law of the Kauravas, you can say. And he was a king of Sindhu Desha, in the northwest part of India, Sindhu Desha. So, you look at all these kingdoms, Koshala, Sindhu and all that, you find them in the map of India that I never studied. And that's the map they should have told us, they should have taught us. And so that's Sindhu. He was the king of that, and he had a large army. And so this Jala, the army, the manpower, everything was provided by Jayadratha primarily. That is why he's presented there. And now he did a nice job once. He kidnapped Draupadi once. There is a story where he kidnapped Draupadi, and then Pandavas go after him, and Bhima attacked him. Bhima was about to kill him, and Yudhishthira said, let him go. And so this Jayadratha wants to take revenge. So like that the story goes. And then finally in the battle, in the war, the Krishna tells Arjuna, go take his head and then make sure the head falls on the lap of his father. Very interesting stories. And lap of his father. And the father apparently had given a boon to Jayadratha that anybody who beheads you, anybody who makes, not beheads you, anybody who makes your head fall on the ground, in turn will have his head broken into so many pieces. I don't know the context of that boon, but that boon is there. And so Arjuna did that, and the head falls on the father's lap, and the father is shaken, and then he drops the head on the ground. And the story is that the father's head broke into so many pieces. Like that the story goes. So in the war also there is and the Salya made a vow to kill Jayadratha. On the 13th day, he killed Abhimanyu in the Chakravyuha. So Arjuna was just disheartened and furious, and he made a vow that tomorrow I am going to get Jayadratha before sunset, because everything should happen before sunset. And in that day I will get, because Jayadratha was not an ordinary guy. So the war ensued, and it was going on, and evening time, almost afternoon, late afternoon, and Krishna did a trick, and he sent his Sudarshana Chakra and then covered the sun, solar eclipse during the day, bit dark, became dark, somewhat darker, and then everybody thought the evening time has come, sunset, sun is setting, and so they were all rejoicing. They were all rejoicing because not only Jayadratha did not die, Arjuna said, if I don't kill Jayadratha, I am going to kill myself. It's either going to be him or me. So that's the type of vows they used to take. And so this Jayadratha came, he was hiding behind Duryodhana, came and he was enjoying, and then Arjuna took him. And took him means then before that Krishna, and then it became bright again, and then a war resumed. And so that story we hear. And so that Jayadratha is the one who provides the waters for this river of the war. It's the manpower, resource. Then Gandhara Nilotpala. So here Gandhara means Shakuni. Gandhari's brother, Shakuni, the uncle of all the Kauravas. So Nilotpala, Nila Utpala, blue lily, which is growing in stagnant waters of the river. The river is there; it's flowing, but then there are places where it is stagnant. So there the blue lilies will grow, and it can, all the stalks of the lily that are all there under the water, you can get entangled in that marsh. You can call it not marsh, probably in that area where these are growing. And so this Shakuni, so very deceptive, very deceptive, and can confuse people. And this blue lily also, if you look at the water blue lily, you will find that it looks like a lotus, but it's not a lotus. And so that beautiful Swamiji gives this example that that master of deception, this Shakuni, and is presented that way as those portions of the river. And then what? Shalya Grahavati. Grahavati is a shark and something that grabs at whatever comes. Shalya Grahavati. Salya. The Shalya is presented as a shark. See, Shalya is Madri's brother. Madri is the mother of Nakula and Sahadeva. And so they are actually, he is the uncle of Pandavas. And how come he's fighting on the Duryodhana side? What is this? Pandavas seem like there is nobody to help them at all in this war. And so very crazy situation. And so he came to, he was flying down to see Pandavas when he heard about the war. And he wanted to fight, of course, for the Pandavas. Who else? And on the way, Duryodhana was there, and he threw a big party to Shalya. You know, throwing parties they do, and so just lavished Shalya. And then at the end of the day, Shalya thought this was all the Pandavas, and then suddenly he found that Duryodhana was the one who was the host of this party, and so he couldn't refuse Duryodhana's request to fight on his side. Shalya was tricked into fighting for Duryodhana. That's the story we hear. And then Shalya apologizes to Yudhishthira, the Pandavas, and then Shalya says, you asked me something, and for the mistake I did, I'll give you a boon. And Yudhishthira says that when you are going to be the charioteer of Karna, you discourage Karna. You know, the job of a charioteer is, of course, to ride the chariot properly and guide and take to places which are not easily reachable, and to protect the one who is in the chariot, the warrior. So it's a big responsibility, and also to encourage the warrior. This Shalya kept on discouraging Karna and constantly praising Arjuna, who's so great, etc., etc. So Karna is constantly troubled. It's like the, some insect goes into the ear. You can't really concentrate on anything. So like that's the boon he got, which is the job he did. And Shalya, so even when Karna was, his wheel was stuck in the battlefield, and Shalya chose to stay away. And so that Shalya, whose presented as a shark here by Swamiji. Salya Grahavati. So all the sharks in the river, they are the Shalyas. And Kripena Vahani. Vahani. So Vah. So in Hindi, Bahna. So Behta hai. So that force of water. So the Bah comes from Vah of Sanskrit. Vah. Vahanam. So that force is provided by Krpa, Kripacharya, and Krpa and Kripi were born and in unusual circumstances, and he was adopted by Shantanu, and he is of course he was a teacher of the Kauravas and Pandavas, and he married Drona's sister. And so Drona and Krpa are related to each other. And he's a Maharatha. More importantly, he's a Maharatha. So they have certifications. Every time, every field, these days you have to certify yourself as this and that. And, project management means there is a certification. And programming means, I'm sure you guys have some certifications. Microsoft certified, they say. And so there also, those days, come on, kya hai aapka certificate batao. And so there is a Artha Ratha, then there is a Samaratha, there is a Maharatha, and then there is a Atiratha, etc. So like that. So this Maharatha, Samaratha, one who can fight with one chariot. I can deal with one chariot and one warrior at one time. Then this Maharatha deals with 11,000 chariots, it seems. My goodness, it's mind-boggling. They had all this. So that's a power this Krpa had. And then, of course, Bhishma was an Atiratha. Atiratha means any number of chariots. Anybody can come. Any number of people, doesn't matter, I can deal with them. So that is Bhishma. So therefore, Krpa was the one who provided the force, the water. If the water in the river is flowing briskly, and anybody who falls in this water will just get washed away. That force, Krpa. Then what? Karnena Vela Kula. So the river has all these tides and big waves and destructive waves, and that kind of a force, the mighty waves of the river. And tide, generally ocean has tides, but big rivers can have tides and big waves. And so that Karna is represented as that power that just surges forward. And they say Arjuna's only person who could take on Arjuna was Karna, nobody else. And so can imagine that Karna was the breaker, mighty wave of this river. And then Aswatthama Vikarna Ghora Makara. So Makara, so Makar bolte hain, Hindi mein Makar is crocodile. But here Ghora Makara is a killer whale. So like another shark, but except much bigger also. And Aswatthama and Vikarna. So Aswatthama and Vikarna, young, very young, and they were probably the youngest in the army. And Vikarna is one of the sons of Duryodhana, and Aswatthama, of course, Drona's son. And they were great warriors, and they are represented here as killer whales. And Duryodhana Avartini. So whirlpool. Now certain portions of the river where, in Tamil we call it soil, like that we say. So just circulating water, and just sucks. Anybody who comes there gets sucked in, and including boats and ships can get sucked in. So Duryodhana is that kind of a person, and he was able to suck Bhisma and Drona and Krpa and Salya, all these people into his side. Can you imagine that? So that kind of he makes people obliged, and so conflict, constant conflict. That is all the conflict. This Bhishma and all, they died of conflict only. Drona and all that. Because dharma is on that side and I am on the side of adharma. How can one deal with the situation? So that Duryodhana is presented as that whirlpool which sucks people to his side. And then this रणनदी, we said रणनदी means the river of battle was Uttirna. Sa रणनदी Uttirna. That रणनदी, Nadi is feminine gender, therefore Sa Uttirna. She was crossed. This river was crossed. How can he cross this river with so many sharks and breakers and whales and blue lilies and all that? It's just asking for death. No, this was crossed by whom? Pandavaihi khalu. Pandavaihi. So indeed, this river of battle was crossed by Pandavas. And how come? How did they do that? Yataha, you should add a word, because the Kesava was the boatman. Kaivartakaha. Kesava was the boatman. He was the one who took the Pandavas, took them, navigated. He was the navigator. Yeah, that's a nice word. He was the navigator of their ship. And because of that, the Pandavas were able to win over the Kauravas in this battle of Mahabharata. So that's the meaning. So I think your homework can be to put all these words together, and something like this रणनदी, this battle of Mahabharata, whose banks are Bhishma and Drona, and whose waters are Jayadratha, etc. Like that, you can write a paragraph on this, translating this shloka. So let me just chant it once. Bhishma Drona Tata Jayadratha Jala Gandhara Nilotpala Shalyagrahavati Kripena Vahani Karnena Velakula Aswatthama Vikarna Ghora Makara Duryodhana Vattini Sotirna Khalu Pandavai रणनदी Kaivartakah Kesavaha. Good. So the river of the battle, Mahabharata battle, is presented in an imagery of a river. Okay. Now the next verse we will chant here is in praise of the Mahabharata itself, means that GAndhAa, that text. Here we are only talking about battle in the previous verse, but now the entire text, Mahabharatam, the entire life of the Pandavas and Kauravas described in this beautiful tapestry of Mahabharatam is being explained or presented. So let's chant that here. Sunita, Sevendra, I'm unmuting yourself. Parasharya vachaha sarojamamalam Gitartha Gandhootkatam Nanakyanaka Kesaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam
संबोधना बोधितम्
लोके सज्जन
लोके सज्जन
षट्पदैरहरहः
षट्पदैरहरहः
पेपीयमानं मुदा
पेपीयमानं मुदा
भूयात्
भूयात्
भारत पंकजम
भारत पंकजम्
कलिमल
कलिमल
प्रध्वंसी
प्रध्वंसि
न श्रेयसे.
नः श्रेयसे.
Yeah. So praising Mahabharatam, the word Bharata Pankajam. In the last line you can see Bhuyat Bharata Pankajam. That Bharata refers to Mahabharata, from which we have derived the name for this country, Bharata. One of the reasons. Rama's brother Bharata is there. Bharata also we derive name from that. And Jada Bharata ityadi. So many reasons for our country to be called as Bharata. So Mahabharatam often referred in short as Bharatam. So Pankajam, this Mahabharatam is a lotus. Pankajam. And then first word, Parasharya Vachas Saroja Mamalam. Saroja also is lotus. Saroja. So that which is growing in water. Niraja, Jalaja. So pure water. And this lotus has a beautiful quality. And which is that its petals are all, even though water can be dirty, the lotus will never get dirty, never even get wet, leave alone dirty. And so the petals seem to repel the water, and so always remains pure. That is why all our devatas are all presented as sitting on a lotus and signifying purity. Purity, beautiful. So that why is the lotus pure? Because it is growing on the waters of the words of Veda Vyasa. Parasharya here refers to Vyasa. Because Vyasa's father is Parashara, so Parasharya refers to Vyasa, born of Parashara. So Parasharya Vachaha. Vachaha means words. So his thoughts appearing in the form of words which nourish this lotus of Mahabharata. And that Mahabharata, that lotus which is spotless, Amalam. Amalam, Mala means impurity. Amala means pure. So that spotless lotus, nourished by the words of the blemishless words of Vyasa. Okay. And Gita Gandhotkatam. So Gandha Utkatam, Utkatam Gandham. So sweet fragrance that's coming from this lotus. And what is that sweet fragrance? Lotus is Mahabharata. And then what's coming out of this lotus is the meaning of the Bhagavad Gita. Is the Bhagavad Gita which gives its meaning. And so that Gita Artha, the meaning of the Bhagavad Gita. So the profundity of the Gita is there. And the smell, the odor, the smell, the fragrance cannot be seen. Cannot be seen. So likewise, the words of the Gita can be seen, because words can be seen very well by us. Words can be spoken and heard and can be repeated. All this can be done. But the meaning of a word, somebody utters a word, what happens to the meaning? Well, the meaning occurs only in the mind, cannot be seen anywhere. Nobody can, I can tell the meaning in some many words, but you have to still understand those words. So beautiful, that Gitartha. So that meaning of the words are emanating as the sweet fragrance from this lotus. And Nana Kyanaka Kesaram. Kesaram. So Kesara is stamen. So the flowers have all these small, inside the flower, in the middle of the flower, you have stamens. And so this particular, what is it? Saffron. Saffron stamens are supposed to have a lot of fragrance, but the stamens of the lotus are beautiful to look at. And so here the stamens, the beautiful stories that Vyasa has weaved into this Mahabharata, Nana Kyanaka. Akhyana means stories. And Nana Kyanaka. Nana Khyana means numerous stories. One after the other, keeps on going and going and going. And even when they are in this forest, nothing is left out. And stories are there, abounds. And then suddenly you find this Yaksha Prashna. Yudhishthira goes simply to drink some water. And then suddenly Yaksha arrives and says, stop, don't drink this water. And like this, how many stories we've heard when we study Mahabharata, when we heard Mahabharata. And so that story within a story, all these stories in the form of the stamens of this flower lotus. Then what? Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam. The Mahabharata, of course, presents the Leela of Krishna among his other Leelas presented in Bhagavatam. And the lotus is a flower that requires the sunlight to bloom. Until then, it's folded like this. So when the sun daybreak starts, then the lotus starts blooming. The lotus enjoys the sun. That is the imagery here. And so who is the one who blooms this lotus of Mahabharata? Bhagavan Sri Krishna. The various stories of Krishna, Hari Katha, Hari, Narayana, Krishna here, and various captivating Sambodhana, captivating and revealing stories which reveal morals. Those stories are the sun for this lotus to bloom, for this Mahabharata to be so captivating to all of us. And sometimes we hear, don't keep Mahabharata in your home, the book. And have you heard this? And I've heard this many times. Because if you keep Mahabharata, what will happen? So you all will start fighting. There will be the family will not be happy because they'll all be fighting with each other. I think it's very unfortunate that, I don't know where it came from. And Madhusudana Saraswati doesn't say that. And Krishna doesn't say that. And people who have talked about Mahabharata don't say that. My Guruji doesn't say that. And nobody says this. And all these funny stories we hear. So I think we should read the Mahabharata, and we can learn from it. If we can learn from our own fights, why can't we learn from Mahabharata? And so that is important here. Mahabharata, sacred. And so Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam, bloomed by the revealing stories of Bhagavan Narayana, Sri Krishna. Loke Sajjana Shatpadaihi Aharaha Pepiya Manam Muda. Pepiyamana. Muda. Happily relished. Happily relished. This Mahabharata, this lotus is happily relished by whom? Lotus is relished by the Shatpadaihi. Shatpadaihi. Six-legged. Six-footed. The six-footed. So it must be that the honey bee must be six-footed, I think. I don't know. And they say honey bee. So somebody who has knowledge of these animals probably can validate. So they are referring to the honey bee. Honey bee. And so the honey bee goes after that lotus and then enjoys the nectar that is there in this lotus. So likewise, these sajjanas means right thinking people who are given to dharma, people who don't simply say things just for the sake of saying, people who think and do the right thing. And those sajjanas are symbolized by this honey bees, loke in this world. So that lotus being relished by the honey bees, when are they relished? Aharaha. Ahaha means day. Aharaha means daily, day in and day out, every day. And so the right thinking people. So another significance of the Shatpada is we look at the world and perceive the world with 5 sense organs. 5 sense organs, and we use our mind to process all the data and then make sense of this world and interact with this world. And so 6 organs of sense organs and the subtle sense organ called Antakarana, mind. So these six organs referring to the human being who uses that to interact with this world, transact with this world. So happily, this Mahabharata, which is happily relished by the right thinking people of the world, like the honey bee, extracts the nectar day in and day out from the lotus flower. That is being described here. And then what? Kalimala Pradvamsi, the destroyer of the Kalimala. Mala is same Mala we saw earlier, Amalam. Earlier in the first line we saw Amalam, spotless, pure, blemishless. So here also Kalimala, the impurities of the Kali Yuga. Impurities of the Kali Yuga. What is this? What is this word? So Kali, one meaning of Kali is selfishness, is Kali. And so this, when my likes and dislikes are predominant in my life, so when likes and dislikes are most predominant in the people of this world, Loka, then that Yuga is called Kali Yuga. So Kali Yuga means less and less of giving, less and less of dharmic attitudes, but more about what I can get, more about my own, I, me, myself, they say. And so that kind of mala, that kind of an impurity, that kind of a barrier to the human mind, Pradvamsi, the destroyer, the remover of Kalimala. Look at this. This is Mahabharata, the way Madhusudana Saraswati describes. And why we should say we should not have Mahabharata in our book. Go buy Rajaji's book. Go buy all the greatest translations of Mahabharata. And those days, Rajaji's book was there, Rajagopalachari, I remember. So, even I think Cho, in Tamil Nadu, we have Cho Ramaswamy, written some series of books on Mahabharata. So, we should read that. If we read that, what happens? Kalimala Pradvamsi. It will destroy it will remove all our funny ideas from our own minds. That is Kalimala Pradvamsi. Then this verb, so far we have not seen a verb, okay, even though these are all Kalimala Pradhamsi, destroys. It's really a noun. All these words we saw are nouns. But then there is one verb that is finally coming. It's called Bhuyat. First word in the last quarter is Bhuyat. Bhuyat Bharata Pankajam. Bhuyat means may it be. Let it be. Let what be? Let this Mahabharata, which is described in so many words, so many ways, Apara, Sharya, Vachas, Sarojam, Amalam, Ityadi. Let this lotus of Mahabharata be for our good. Naha Shreyase. Naha Shreyase. Shreyase means for the good of. For the good of whom? Naha. Naha. Naha means our good. Our good. O-U-R. Our good. Let it be for our good, for our benefit. So, because Bhagavad Gita is coming out of this Mahabharata, that is the jewel of this Mahabharata. And even if the rest of the Mahabharata doesn't do good to us, this Bhagavad Gita is sitting there. It won't leave me. And what else but good? The ultimate good can come from Bhagavad Gita. Naha Shreyase. Mokshaya. Naha Mokshaya. For that freedom that I am seeking, let it be. Let it serve as the instrument of our freedom. That is what this shloka says. So may the spotless lotus Mahabharatam, born of the words of Vyasa, Parasharya Vachas Sarojam Amalam, then Gita Gandhotkatam, and having the meaning of the Gita as its fragrance, sweet fragrance, Nana Kshyanaka Kesaram, whose stamens are the different beautiful stories that are weaved into this Mahabharata. Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam, and which lotus is bloomed by the various captivating stories of Hari, of Narayana. And Loke Sajjana Shatpadai Raharaha Pepiyamanam Muda. And that lotus which is happily relished by that Mahabharata, which like the lotus is happily relished by the honeybees, namely the right thinking people of this world, Loke, and which destroys the impurities of the Kali Yuga, removes the unbecoming thought processes, unbecoming qualities that we have. That Mahabharata, Kalimala Pradvamsi, Naha Shreyase Bhuyat. May it be for our good, for our ultimate good. That's the meaning of this shloka. Parasharya Vachas Sarojam Amalam Gitartha Gandhotkatam Nanakshanaka Kesaram Harikatha Sambodhana Bodhitam Loke Sajjana Shatpadairaharaha Pepiyamanam Muda Bhuyad Bharata Pankajam Kalimala Pradvamsi Nashreyase. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.